I am here with Rodrigo Brand. He is one of our awesome legacy family members. He's a psychologist, a writer, an author, and now we're lucky enough to have him as one of our coaches. Welcome to the show. Thank you for being here. I'm looking forward to speaking with you, hanging out with you, talking to you, and learning about you.
Nice. It's sponsored by Marcelo Garcia, right?
That's right. Yeah. Thank you for this gift, this bobblehead, Alberto Brand bobblehead, but it kind of looks like Marcelo Garcia, right? But it's okay.
It's nice that it's here. I told you, right? I thought you threw it away. Because it was in your desk. And this feels like, oh, he didn't like Marcelo Garcia.
No, it's nice, right? Yeah. It's cool. It has all the details of on the kimono, right? The little legacy logos on the back, right?
I asked them to do the back. Usually they don't do the back.
The front even had the degrees, has the show roll even on the. That's a lot of detail, you know.
I wanted to do one for everybody, every single coach in the gym.
Little cauliflower ear, you know, on both. Yeah, Marcelo Garcia face, right?
Face.
Marcelo Garcia hairline. I was just watching a video of him talking about how he created the X guard. That he was saying, because there was this position called taking out the trash, jogando lixo, you know?
Yeah.
And then he started playing around with the position, and he started crisscrossing his feet. And he's like, oh, I can, you know, kind of teeter-totter them. And he started evolving that game, that position, you know?
This guy, he's one of my favorites to watch videos, and especially because, like, I'm not that deep in the knowledge of jiu-jitsu. I'm learning little by little, but seeing him in, I believe it was doing no-gi, and always going the absolute and finding those guys way bigger than him and just jumping on their back like it's a little monkey, like a backpack.
The 2007, right?
Yeah.
And just all the 80 cc's, right?
Yeah.
And also the gi, right, too. But man, just there was back in the day there was sorry, I'm going on tangents, you know, but there was the VHS instructionals.
Oh yeah.
And to learn technique, it was before YouTube, before. What are you laughing at, Kevin?
We're so old.
He looks so funny.
What's that?
He's just so funny. The way he looks at you, I'm laughing at him.
Yeah, the instructionals, because you're trying to learn, right? Now you have YouTube.
It's so much easier now.
You have flow grappling. You have like all these like whatever, like instructional things. Back in the day, you had to get like VHS tapes that was one of the ways, right?
Unless you call the person, right?
Well, there was a guy Paqueta that sold VHS videos from he would videotape the tournaments, the big tournaments, and so you would follow him to his car. And he would sell you VHS tapes out of his trunk.
This sounds like a movie.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
Paqueta, he was a Carlson Gracie black belt, and he did it for so many years. And then they started coming out. They had some old school like Panther Productions. They had some old school like instructionals, like the Gracies, of course, had Horian Gracie had instructionals. But this was like real jiu-jitsu, like advanced stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And so Marcelo Garcia came out with this whole X guard, you know, series, and it was awesome, right? It was awesome. Like, I don't know anybody that was serious about jiu-jitsu that didn't have those tapes.
Oh my God.
Even like his opponents, there was this guy, you know, Cameron Earl, who ended up in jail now for crazy stuff. He beat I think Marcelo twice too, you know, but he got we were joking because he had his X guard tapes, you know.
Yeah, that he studied, right?
Yeah, but it was so good. Even if you didn't, it was so good.
Yeah,
it was such a phenomenal.
You know,
and you know all the like, you know, I had Paul Schreiner. He was one of his students, longtime students, and everybody that did jiu-jitsu, like you have to have a little bit of gratitude towards Marcelo because of what he's done for the sport and for jiu-jitsu.
Yeah,
like for example, like the seatbelt position. You know, he kind of came up with that position. Like seatbelt, like controlling somebody from the back, just so many things. Anyway, going on tangents, you know.
I can imagine like somebody going to a parking lot and just like, hey man, got something from me? Got this arm bar from Rick's on Grace, man. Got a tape right here. Don't show anybody, you know. It must be
That's
such
how
an
it was.
advantage.
That's how it was back in the day.
Back in the days,
yeah,
right?
you can't show this. Like our first,
Yeah.
remember the first coach, first teacher is like, yeah, I'm going to show you this, but you can't show anybody.
Yeah. It's I heard and read about, you know, training garages. There were no gyms. Hey, you gotta be referred by somebody. Go there, and maybe he's gonna teach you something, maybe not. You know, the waiting list to train. And nowadays we have gyms everywhere.
Yeah.
BJJ Fanatics,
Yeah.
Flow Roll, like you said, a bunch of websites that people can just. And I guess we take it for granted, right?
Yeah.
Because standing on the shoulder of giants, because
That-
those
that's it.
people,
That's
they
it,
have
yeah.
to develop
That's it.
the moves, and now
That's
we
it.
can just go and watch it.
I used to go to the tournaments and I would have those big VHS like cameras and on the shoulder.
Yeah.
I'd have to carry that thing with me, like a briefcase and stuff, just to get, you know, some footage to study.
Yeah.
Of course, I would know the matches to watch and stuff, you know, but you know, just to kind of be able to break it down. And then, of course, I could record, like they had a thing called Sport TV, you know, on the Brazilian TV. So
Yeah,
I'd
yeah.
record some of the matches and
Yeah.
I'd break it down, and I learned so much from those things.
Yeah. Now they have Canal Combate.
Canal Combate, yeah,
Canal
it's evolved.
Combate,
It's evolved
yeah.
a lot, you know.
Yeah.
So tell me about you. How did you? You're from São Paulo
I'm from Belo Horizonte.
originally.
Yeah. Originally from Belo Horizonte, which.
So you're Mineiro.
Yeah, Mineiro. You studied there, right?
Yeah, I lived there for many years. It's
Yeah.
my second home.
Second
I remember
home,
kind of
studied
my
there.
hometown in Brazil.
Yeah. I think Michael Carvalho, that you referred to me to train with them in Santa Monica.
Okay, yeah. It's in Belo Horizonte too.
Yeah, Belo Horizonte too. Caveirinha came from there.
Yeah, he's from Rio. He's carioca, but he
Yeah.
lived there in Belo Horizonte.
Belo
many
Horizonte,
years,
yeah.
Like Draculino. He's
Yeah.
a carioca. He's from Rio, but he moved to Belo Horizonte.
Moved to Belo Horizonte, yeah.
to start his school.
Yeah, so I was born there, and then I moved to a city close to the ocean, is Vitória, Espírito Santo, which is the southeast of Brazil, right next to Rio and São Paulo. So there where I lived like my teenagerhood until I was like a young adult. Did college there, and then actually my life changed because a friend of mine's like, hey, you like to read a lot. There is this play. You know, I think you should audition for it because you like to tell stories, you like to read stories, you know, theater. And I did an audition and I got a part. The time was Romeo and Juliet, you know, played by William Shakespeare. I got a minor part, it was nothing big.
Instagram, Rodrigo, what is the poetry? What's your Instagram?
Letter to a Young Poet.
Letter to a Young Poet.
Yeah, it's a book by Rainer Hilk, something like that. But then because I got this part and I like what I was doing, I start studying, and then I have to, you know, if you want to study in Brazil, you got to go to São Paulo mainly. But Rio de Janeiro is really good as well. It's where they have, Rio de Janeiro is kind of like the LA from Brazil, is where they have the studios, the TV networks. São Paulo as well. São Paulo, maybe we can compare to New York. It's a little bit more cult.
Yeah.
You know, more people that like the theater and
Yeah.
that kind of line. So then I live in Vitória, and then I study in São Paulo, and then I moved to Rio. And Rio, I found my place in Rio. I lived there until I moved to the United States.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
I thought you told me you were in São Paulo.
Yeah.
That you told me that you've been in all the major cities, right?
Yeah.
A lot of
Because
the
it's
major
great.
cities.
You cannot not go there and not live there. São Paulo is incredible. So many things to see, to do. They have similar to New York, I guess. I've been to New York once, but I'm not knowledgeable about New York. But they say the food is amazing. You know, the museums are cool. The scenario of the city, every part of the city that you go is a different thing. You know, so you got to go there. And Rio is the geography. You know, you have the beaches, and you have the hills, Morro dos Irmãos, the Christ Redeemer, Pão de Açúcar, the sugar loaf.
Mountain, yeah.
So it's a different scenario.
I think Rio is one of the most beautiful cities in the world.
Certainly is. Yeah.
You agree?
I agree.
Yeah.
It's just, there's something about the city. You go
Like
there.
the huge mountains, the
jungle
beaches.
the city is the jungle amidst mountains, amidst the people, and everybody's in the streets all the time. It's a vibrant city. It's a vibrant city.
Yeah, São Paulo, definitely. I went to a business school there, And so that I had never been in the middle of like the kind of the main area, you know. I never had gone there for some tournaments, but I never did that kind of a thing. I was like, wow, this is like New York.
Yeah, it's massive.
Like
São
big
Paulo is
big
massive.
buildings
Yeah.
and, you know, business and
You can get lost there and not find yourself.
Yeah.
Not find a way out.
yeah.
You know, but they have the subway. I remember when I went to São Paulo the first time, it's like, if you get lost, just go to the subway. The subway connects everything, the
Yeah.
whole city, and then you can, you know, find a way home.
Yeah. How did you come to US? What made you come to the US?
When I was in Rio, I was living in Rio and studying São Paulo as well, because São Paulo is more focused in study, you know. And then I did this. I studied in a place called Instituto Stanislavski, which would be Stanislavski Institute. Stanislavski is the name of a director and a writer, you know, professor of acting from Russia.
Okay.
He's very famous, one of the number ones, one of the most known. So I went to this institute because they had a teacher, and she was a teacher and a director of a conservatory here in Los Angeles, and we're going to be training there with her. I think it was about 3 weeks. So I went to train there for these 3 weeks, did the class, and in the last week, she asked me if I would be interested in auditioning for the Conservatory of Arts in LA. So my first reaction was like, you know, she's, you know, 45 students, she is going person to person, just inviting them to come here. But then I asked around a few people that I was studying with, hey, did she invite you to go? Did she? And the people that I asked said no. And I was like, oh, so maybe she sees something in me, you know? Because it's a big move, right? From Brazil to Los Angeles, you cannot just like, oh,
Yeah.
I think I can act. I'm going to go to Los Angeles to be an actor. The whole world is here trying to do acting in LA. This is one of the towns, right? The Mecca
It's the
for Hollywood.
the mecca of the world, right? For acting.
Yeah.
The entertainment industry.
Exactly. So I was kind of like, I don't know. But no, I like to take risks. So I'm just, okay, I'm going to say that I'm interested, going to look into it. And then I said, and she gave me the information, okay, we have a Conservatory of Arts. You need a referral letter to get in if you're not from the United States. I'm going to give you this referral letter. You're going to have to audition, and the audition has a few parts. There is a board, kind of like a board that sees the tapes, and if you're okay, if they agree with my positioning, then you can go there. And they have a plan as well to help foreign students with their visas, you know, give support like a letter of recommendation and this kind of thing. So I talked to my family because, you know, Brazil to United States, if anything happens, thinking about now the past, it's a crazy move. Crazy, because I came here without knowing anybody. And imagine if anything happens to me, like if I get hit by a car, like my family's in Brazil, I have no support network here. You know, I didn't know anybody.
Yeah.
But I like to take risks, so I decided to do the audition, and they approved me. So then this was 2012. I moved here to, you know, study and see where it takes me.
So like 13 years ago.
13 years ago, yeah.
And how did you find jiu-jitsu? You never did jiu-jitsu in Brazil?
In Brazil, no. I don't know, because you lived in Brazil and studied Brazil and trained in Brazil as well. I don't know if you are familiar with this, but in Brazil, there was
Stigma?
There was a stigma. It was kind of like a gang thing, because, you know, creonte. If you go trains, if you talk to somebody from another gym.
No, like in the late 90s, like I think early 2000s, right, too, there was a stigma of guys would learn jiu-jitsu and then they would go to the nightclubs and like beat up
that.
people that didn't know anything, right?
Yeah.
Like bullies, you know, like
they essentially
pitch boys, right? Like
yeah,
pit
pitch
bulls,
boys,
pit boys.
pit bulls. So I had a friend that he used to do that, but in a slightly gentler way. He will not pick up a fight, but he would be prepared. If any fight broke out, he would go there and fight. Whoever was, you know, was initiated. But the stigma in Brazil was, you were part of a club, you were kind of like part of a gang. And if the guys were like, hey, we're going to go to the club tonight and we're going to test for jiu-jitsu, then, you know, you kind of like had to go. in the city where I was living at the time, Vitória, we had one gym of jiu-jitsu as well, and it was kind of like that. And the guy that coordinated the team,
Yeah, man,
got
but
involved in a lot of
it's like,
fights.
yeah, but it's like those guys are like not serious like guys, right? It's like these
Yeah.
guys that are like,
You could just go into the sport, right? To gonna beat somebody on the mats, like competing with somebody as well.
they're not like they weren't
Yeah.
like they were just doing it for. But it gave everybody a bad stigma, right? If
Yeah,
you did
and
jujitsu,
if you
you were like a
didn't
bad
know,
person, you know.
like me, I didn't know any
Compared to
better.
now, where
Yeah.
like you did jujitsu and it's like honor, there was respect. It's like
Exactly.
it's cool.
I think it's very different now.
in
Very
Brazil
different.
too, right?
Yeah.
From
In
20
Brazil
years
as
ago.
well, is very well respected now. But at the time, like if you're an outsider and you don't know anybody that is trained that can say, hey man, this is that gym or this
Mm-hmm.
guy, if you train, you're gonna see that is cool. I didn't have that. So I ended up
But I think too, it was kind of like Fight Club days, you know. I call it Fight Club days,
Yeah,
you know, like
yeah,
the
yeah.
movie Fight Club, you know, like
Yeah.
it was kind of like, only the strong survived, and
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
definitely
yeah.
like, but none of us like went out and fought,
yeah.
or maybe some guys here and there, but like it wasn't like that. The people I was around, at least.
And there was a little bit, correct me if I'm wrong, the era of the challenges, right? Like
Correct,
the
yeah,
Grace
that
would
was-
go,
that's
they would
it,
go
that's it, yeah.
out to challenge other people.
Yeah, yeah.
There was a thing in Brazil with Luta Livre, which
Right,
is the
right, right.
Brazilian wrestling. They will bicker with each other and fight as well.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, if you're an outsider, if you're not involved, you don't have the experience, then you don't know. It's just, oh man, people don't
You're
see
good.
it
You're
well.
like, oh, I'm good. I'm gonna do
Yeah.
my play act, my acting, and my
You know what I mean? There was
my
that.
artist
Yeah.
life. I'm not gonna be.
Yeah, but
Fu-
I always loved sports, and I had, like most people when I was young, watching Bruce Lee.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh man, I want to learn that. So I started doing kung fu.
Okay.
In
Brazil.
In Brazil, yeah, I did kung fu when I was around 14, I think, and then still very young. But then the kung fu, the guy, they closed the gym, something like that, and then there was a karate guy for like maybe half a year, and so I jumped into that, and I couldn't pursue something because my parents work all the time, so I had limited. As a young person in Brazil, you never know if it's dangerous or not, but I have limited options in the neighborhood that I was in.
Right.
I could not just go, I'm going to go to another city or not, like here in LA, I'm in Santa Monica, I'm going to go to Burbank. When you're young in Brazil, but that was not a reality for me. I could do things in the neighborhood. We didn't have a gym over there. But in college, I got to train judo because in college you had judo in college.
Okay.
So I trained judo, I want to say around 3 to 4 years in college, twice a week. They have classes twice a week.
In college.
In college, yeah. And it was so nice. Like
Cool.
judo is so cool. So cool. And afterwards I met a guy that I was in Aikido. So I did Aikido for maybe around 10 years. I became a black belt in Aikido, which
Okay.
was really cool, But then
Have you gone to the Aikido place across the street?
I saw it, I have good
Do you
memories
feel
about it.
You feel like
Yeah.
going in there one day and
Yeah.
show them.
The thing about Aikido is very good. It gave me so many gifts for life.
Okay.
Kind of like jiu-jitsu. But once you fight somebody that does jiu-jitsu, I'm sorry to say it, but most things are useless against a well-trained jiu-jitsu guy.
What do you're Aikido black belt.
Yeah.
What are some good things? Like there's always good things, I think, in everything, right?
Yeah.
What are
yeah.
some good things that are beneficial doing Aikido?
Aikido was very good for my perception of the world, body awareness, and postures. Like
Okay.
I used to, a lot of things happened in my life, but one of them was like I was bullied in school. Again, I was in a neighborhood when I was really young, and every kid from the neighborhood is the same school. My parents wanted to give me a better education, so they managed me to, again, do kind of like an audition, is a test. I got to do like a written test to go to this private school.
Okay.
That was really cool. Really, really cool. It's like a school on top of a hill with a beach in front of the beach. So, rich people's school.
Yeah.
So I did the test. So knowledge-wise, I passed it, and I went to that school. But then I was not in my neighborhood, in a rich kid school, and we are not rich. So I was by myself. Ended up getting bullied. So my posture was, I was always, you think that is weird, right? Because you think that if you look down, people are gonna avoid you, and
But that makes it even worse, right?
makes it worse because you're looking down, shoulders in, and like you just wanted to disconnect from the world, and you want the world to disconnect from you, like to be like invisible. But then predators, if they see that, it's like, oh, that's easy prey.
Easy prey.
If you like how many experiences in my life afterwards that I did martial arts, if you just open your chest, roll the shoulders back, open your chest, and you just look at people in the eyes, especially in Brazil, like there's some predators there, like, you know, like really in the streets every day. And all it takes sometimes is just to look them in the eyes and not blink, not
stand
back
up
away.
for yourself.
Just look in the eyes. And it's amazing. I think because in this community of jiu-jitsu, we are used to that. So maybe we don't even realize, but try to get a person that never did martial arts and just look them in the eyes. Just look them in the eyes. A lot of people get uncomfortable, you know. So this is one of the perks of martial arts. Jiu-jitsu, I got that from Aikido as well, you know, because you have to always be aware with the posture like be straight, standing straight, you know what I mean? So a lot of body awareness in Aikido, like movements, you know. They do look like a choreography, you know, and Aikido is not like, it used to be Aikijutsu, which is the technique to destroy, kind of like, it's not destroy, right? But it's the technique to be applied with force. And that was more brutal, but it was specific as well. The guy who founded Aikido was a guy called Morihei Ueshiba, and he's from the old times that people have the samurai armors, all that jazz, and they come with swords. So how you cannot just strike with armor? You're gonna break your hand. It doesn't work, you know. So he developed Aikido to deal with that. How do we fight a guy? Because swords used to break all the time as well,
Right.
you know. So then you have bare hands or your small sword. I think is wakizashi, against a guy that has a daito, like the long sword, the katana. They say katana here, right? So develop that for that, and then because became Aikido, which is just a spiritual path to enlightenment, to self-improvement. Right, and then they do the movements like people attack, like there's attacking with swords. So for a person that practice martial arts, like striking, like boxing, Muay Thai, or grappling, jiu-jitsu, like it looks weird. But there is a reason why they train like that, and it's for self-improvement. And I think you do improve a lot.
And I was watching a podcast with George St. Pierre, and you know, one of the things that, you know, because there's wrestling, there's MMA wrestling, right? And he was like one of the best MMA wrestlers, right? And he's like, I developed the distance management so well from his karate background.
Yeah.
From all those drills that they did, you know?
Yeah.
And so that was the difference maker for him, right? It wasn't just wrestling for wrestling, right? Because a lot of wrestlers, Olympic top wrestlers in the world, but they doesn't translate to the cage, right? To MMA.
Yeah. What is the other guy that's really good as well? The tall guy. He's a karate style as well. Wonder
Boy.
Wonder Boy.
Yeah.
I was thinking about Wonder Man. I was like, it's not a Wonder Man. Wonder Boy. Wonder Boy.
Wonder Woman. Wonder Man.
Wonder Man. Yeah.
Wonder Boy.
But you see, like he has. It's funny because in Brazil,
his footwork, right? His footwork
is incredible.
It's awesome.
It's incredible. He's there. He's not there.
He was hard to beat. You know, when he first came in, he was hard to beat.
Yeah. You know, it's funny to see the videos of them because when we watch the UFC or wherever it is the combat sport on TV, including jiu-jitsu, I guess, but we're talking about striking, right? They make it look easy because they are both fighters are such a high level, you know. And then I think people at home think, oh, I can do that. But when you go to the cage or to the mats, it's like, oh my God. When you see those fighters just training with regular people, you know, like sometimes a reporter that goes there and like, oh, let's see. You can see how the distance, the gap between a trained person and an untrained person is so beyond anything that you can imagine. You know, in Brazil, you have an expression. Everybody in Brazil is a soccer coach on the couch, you know, because you see the guys making it look easy and they think that they can do it as well.
Yeah.
Reality hits you hard.
That's why you come in, you think you want to do that, but come and do jiu-jitsu and then we'll talk, right?
Exactly.
They actually don't want to. They want to do jiu-jitsu. not
Yeah.
MMA. Usually,
Yeah. Yeah.
almost most people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you came to the U.S. and then you didn't find jiu-jitsu in Brazil. You found jiu-jitsu. You found
Here.
Brazilian jiu-jitsu here in the U.S.
Yeah. So this was I came here to United States, and I my first 2 years were like hell, uh, especially because in Brazil I moved to different cities, and when I went to Rio, I have to start from scratch, and it took me 5 years to be in a good stable position. Like, okay, I have now a good job, because Rio was the same thing. I went there without knowing anybody. So I have to, you have to find a place, you have to start making connections. Nobody wants to give you an opportunity. And I understand why, like they don't know you,
Yeah.
And if you are in a big city, the chances that you have been at some point scammed by somebody, hurt
Yeah.
by somebody is so high that just everybody's just protected. Makes
Yeah.
sense, right? So when I came to United States, it was the same thing. Man, and like when you build something and now you have to start from scratch, it's just like, oh man. So I came here, and the first 2 years were just hell, just trying to build some sort of structure, trying to get, I'll take an opportunity for a job that is considered to be a shitty job because just like the repetition, meaningless repetition, the money is bad,
And it was
the hours are
expensive here
horrible.
too, right? In California.
So expensive. I think my first 2 years, my means of transportation was my shoes, and I got a skateboard for $30. One of those skateboards that you barely can put your feet on. For this lady in Venice gave me the thing was kind of like broke. It's like, okay, I give it to you for $30. And that was like me skateboarding all over the place. And in my third year, then I said, okay, I have a little bit better of a job now. I can do a little bit more. I have a little bit of more money. Actually, and my first 2 years here as well was paying my Conservatory of Arts because I got approved, but it was not in the United States free. So the how do you say? It's not the membership, it's the tuition.
Tuition, yeah.
The tuition, right? The tuition was expensive. So most of my money was I was just working, say, close to 12 hours a day, and studying and working. It would be like 12, 14 hours a day. My days were like that, just to, be able to study.
Make
and
ends
then, yeah, exactly. And pay the tuition and then pay rent. Rent was like, I'm back to be a teenager. I had to share a room with another guy that has also just moved to LA in an old lady's apartment. She had like a bigger apartment with 2 bedrooms, and one bedroom she put make a broader thing, like 2 beds, 2 dressing rooms, and you gotta, and she was renting separately to people that side of the bed, and it's like, man, I got a brother now, I guess, and
That's funny.
yeah, man.
Same room.
But you know what is the craziest thing that
stepbrother.
the craziest thing that I think about is this, and I think that's interesting for the artists as well. Be careful of what you ask the universe or God or whatever you want to think about it, because at some point it's highly likely that it's going to be given to you. But just like the soccer coach, desire from afar is very different from being in this situation. Look at the TV, the guy scoring the goal or the guy finished the arm bar is very different to be in the cage or being in the canvas, playing that match. So I have wished at some point in my life, because I love cars, that I would like to drive all those cars. I was raised with my dad watching Formula One racing. I was like, cars are so cool, man. So I have this desire to drive cars, and I wanted to drive all the cars. And I was like, man, I gotta be a zillionaire. How come I'm gonna drive? But I always have this in the back of my mind. When I moved to LA, I think it was my 3rd or 4th job, was a valet park assistant in a restaurant called The Lobster in Santa Monica. Guess what they have? All the cars that you can imagine.
Yeah.
From the shitty ones to the best ones ever. And I drove all the cars. So God or the universe, whatever you want to think about it, I wish that, and I got to do that, And another one of my wishes, my desires for our lives, like, man, I wish I could have a brother. must be so cool to have a brother.
Okay, and you got
know.
you got your stepbrother.
And for the first like 2-3 years of my life, I have not one, but I have 3 brothers. You know, and people that I still speak to this day, like sharing a room together. You know, so just be mindful.
Yeah.
Might
You
not
have to
come.
be careful. You have to, and the way
might
you
not come
think.
the way you think, but the opportunity is gonna be given to you.
So how did you find going back? How did you start doing jiu-jitsu? What was your first
my
class?
3rd year.
Okay.
So in my 3rd year, when I had a little bit more money, not paying the tuition anymore because I completed the associate arts degree in performing arts, I was like, okay, I have a little bit more money now, and there was a guy in that parking lot that they always talk about MMA, UFC, and then I got to find out that he was a jiu-jitsu black belt and he was an MMA fighter. I think he fought maybe 4 or 6 times, you know. And I saw one of the tapes. Man, the guy was good. It was good. He was a big, strong guy, but good. And but then he had a wife. They have a kid, and he also he's not dumb. He's smart. So he's like, I want to be whole for my daughter. You know, I had a little daughter, and he also knew that he was excellent, but the game was already changed to just excellent. It's not good anymore. You gotta you gotta have your support team. You gotta, you know. So he decided to just, I'm gonna be here for my family. Although he won his fights, I think he didn't see himself as being on the top 10 maybe, or being the champion. So it's like, if I'm not gonna be
probably
champion,
was a different time too. Now it's bigger, the sport, right? In those days it was,
There's not a lot of as money or as fame as the UFC changed the landscape, right? With money, I guess, and fame in the
for sure
in the last years. But this guy was
been growing. It was underground, right?
Yeah,
it was, not even on pay-per-view for a lot of years.
Exactly. So this guy was always talking about this. He's talking about jiu-jitsu, and one day somebody asked him, "Hey, maybe you could teach us." So somebody from the parking lot that was friends of somebody in the gym that was Taekwondo said, "Hey, you have an hour here that you don't use the mats. How about I bring some guys to train some jiu-jitsu, and we get a low payment membership and share the profits with you." So the name of the guy, the black belt, is Renato Zambonaro. So he agreed to teach us, I think, twice a week. And we went to that gym, and man, it's so embarrassing because like the first day, right? And I rolled with Renato, and he was a big guy, like I'd say between 6'2" and 6'5", strong guy, like muscular guy, but slim but muscular, 6'5", and I think he was maybe 2 or 3 stripes black belt. And he was not even putting pressure. He was just moving, and wherever I went, he had not only an answer, but a submission. And I was like, man, and it was the same thing. Once you're in the ground, the judo, what do you do
like,
there?
this is a different level. Open up your mind. The control, the power of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, and he was just moving around.
Just playing with you.
Playing with the food, and so humble of him as well, because sometimes I had
how did you find like Legacy Club, the guys?
So this training lasts just for 3 or 4 weeks, because he had other things with his family, and he couldn't teach anymore. But then I was bitten by the bug, right? And I'm like, man, I gotta do this. I need to do this. And I moved to Hollywood because I was doing a little bit better in life. And so I just looked for proximity because I didn't know anything about jiu-jitsu. I didn't know any professor and teacher. I didn't get any referrals. I just trained with Renato, but he was not even from here. You know, he was from here, but not from here. That he trained here. He trained in Brazil. His black belt was from Brazil. He didn't have a gym here, and to my level of resources at the time, I needed to be close by. So I just looked for proximity, and there was like Club Hollywood. There was a few blocks. I'm like, amazing, I can walk there. I don't even have to spend the gas because at the time I didn't have money to spare. And I went there, and Mark Bradford was there, and he introduced me to, as he says, American Jiu-Jitsu. Can we curse here? Yeah. American Jiu-Jitsu, motherfucker. It was incredible. Like Mark, man, he is incredible in many, many ways. You know, he's probably not gonna watch this, but if he is, Mark, I apologize for so many things that I did, and I appreciate you for not kicking me out of the gym and letting me train there, because I didn't know anything. And I came from a kid that is very traditional. Everybody's like in Seiza, sitting on their heels, and there's no music. So I went there, and there's music. People are sitting, you know, they're training, but like in my mind, it was different, and it was such a light mood.
Different culture.
Different culture.
Completely different experience,
you know,
right?
Yeah, the hierarchy is there, but it's kind of like an invisible hierarchy. So it took some time for me to realize those things. So in the beginning,
And probably the small gym, the guard on Gardner, right? Was
exactly.
even more so. Right?
Yeah,
Because of
very family-like, very friendly-like. Everybody's so relaxed, and you know, it was a shock for me in the beginning. I didn't know what to do, and at the time as well, like I said, I have limited resources. I always think about I just need to survive, because otherwise I have to go back to Brazil. So I didn't take it that seriously. I was just trying to have a good time and learn at the same time, you know. But I made so many mistakes. Etiquette-wise and skill-wise.
Etiquette-wise?
Oh, so many mistakes, man.
how dare you? How
Yeah,
dare you? I saw
so
some
many
old
mistakes.
pictures that Andrea and some of the guys posted of you as a white belt.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of years ago.
Yeah, I didn't. Andre started that conversation. It's like, hey, I found this picture of you, and then we went on like a chase to see how many pictures she had, I had, and then it was like, how many years have I been training? Because for me, it seems like yesterday. It seems like I just started, you know. But then we compiled the information. It's like, oh, 10 years, man. 10 years. It's a lot. It's a long time, but at the same time, it's not, right? People are doing this for 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, the whole life. Some people right now, I see the kids training with Kevin, everybody, they start at like 3-4 years old.
Yeah.
Like Superman. How amazing that guy.
Yeah.
He started at 4, I think, right? So by 15, you know, he was
Little
already
guy.
like 11 years of jiu-jitsu. So when he gets blue belt, he's already a black belt in a way.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
all that
for sure.
experience instinctively, right? Because since he's like learning to walk and
Mika Galval, I haven't announced it, you know, but this is going to come out in a couple weeks, I think. We'll be announcing it the next couple of days. But he was, you know, he was whatever he was, 16, 17 at the time when he was like the best in the world. But the IBGF didn't recognize his black belt yet.
yeah,
So he couldn't do it on the IBGF mat, right? But he's one of those examples, right, of growing up and
growing up with it must be,
and not just that, but being the best, right?
yeah,
And
there are levels to the game.
there's levels to the
There are
game.
levels to
That's
the
it.
game.
I'm
Yeah.
really excited actually to have him. It's been a minute that I
Yeah.
wanted to have him come out.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that we're gonna be able to make it happen.
Yeah, I have seen some of his highlights and the things that he does, the way he, you know, you can see like we're talking about posture and attitude and just, you know, so cool, so collected and so chill and so explosive as well.
Yeah.
All those things mixed together,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah, I need to thank Mark a lot for he allowing me. Do you guys want to hear a funny story?
Yeah.
Okay. So Mark has his kids, right? And one of his kids is Angelo.
Angelo, yeah.
And I have something, man. I don't know what it is. I just love people. You know, I'm like a puppy sometimes. Sometimes I'm like a cat. I just want to be on my own. Don't touch me. Don't just give me, you know. And sometimes it's just like a puppy. I just love people. Want to hug them, talk to them, give them some affection, you know. And I was telling Mark because he was teaching me jiu-jitsu, and there is this fatherly tone in martial arts, right? In Japan, they call sensei is the one who comes first, which is kind of like the dad. He came first. He's passing down the experience, right? So
he came first, sensei.
Yeah.
That's cool.
The one who comes first.
The one who comes first.
Yeah.
Sensei.
Sensei.
Cool.
And then I was talking
That's
to
cool.
Mark. I used to call Mark like a stepdad, fool around. Hey, you want to adopt me, Mark? You want, you know, this kind of thing. And I fell in love with Angelo as well. Such a nice kid, man. Such a cool guy. And sometimes Angelo would train. You know, we were both white belts. And of course, Mark also gave me a little bit of a hard time there because I was the only Brazilian at the time. You know, so it's like American Jiu-Jitsu with a Brazilian there. And And I would joke around, like asking Mark, "Hey, Professor, you want to adopt me? Come on, adopt me, Professor. You know, you're gonna have somebody from Brazil. We're usually from Brazil." And one day I was rolling for Angelo, and by some miracle of the universe, whatever it was, like I got Angelo, in a submission. And look at look at this. I went to Mark and say, "Professor, I beat Angela. I am your son now." Can you imagine that? And I can see, now I remember him back. I can see Ricky's face. Ricky was sitting next to him. Ricky's just like that face that he does, like. And it didn't take much. Like, Ricky just looked at Mark. Mark just looked at Rick. Mark didn't say a word. And then Ricky rolled with me. And he got me in the most painful wrist lock that I have. It's been 10 years, and my wrist is still hurt these days. My wrist never got better. So Ricky...
So Ricky adopted
Ricky,
you, huh?
Ricky was the enforcer. And to all good things, Ricky adopted me later. I'm so thankful to Rick. I call Rick to this day stepdad, dad. I call not even stepdad. I call him dad and Monica mom.
That's cool.
And Andrea and Felix also being a lot in my life. I call them Tio Felix, Tio Andrea.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
it's awesome. Family affair, right?
Family in jiu-jitsu. Yeah.
All these guys were, people have chances to move. They're like, this is my family. These are my people. I'm good here.
Yeah, I think you have a saying here as well. I don't know, but there is the family that you are born with and the family that you choose, which is something that we say in Brazil as well.
It's cool.
Your friends, the community that you choose to live with is the family that you choose, right?
Yeah,
and then you have the family.
Well, I love seeing you here, man. At the helping people, new people, the FIS, first impression specialist,
Yeah.
greeting people. You're the right guy for the position. Big smile on your face, and then also on the mat, helping doing the fundamentals classes. It's cool. It's awesome.
Yeah, I need to thank you for the
great
opportunity.
Energy.
It's thank you so much. It's again another opportunity given to me. I know I have to thank Ricky as well for talking to you, most likely Andrea, but also you giving me the opportunity to be here.
Yeah.
And the trust, man. It's so I understand it now. When you give somebody an opportunity, you gotta trust them because like this is your business. What if I or somebody else doesn't do it well by others and they represent your name, right? So thank you.
Yeah,
because
man,
it's a lot, to allow somebody to teach in your gym.
Thank you. What did you want to ask me? We started before we started the podcast. You're like, I have some questions to ask you.
I could talk to you for half an hour just about jiu-jitsu,
Okay. Well, we have how many minutes do we have? We have. Just shoot. Just start. Just what?
Joe Rogan is what? Jamie, come on, Jamie.
We'll just flow.
Just flow. How long have you been training now? Devoting your life to jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, like 31 years. 31 years.
31 years. See, so my 10 seems like nothing.
So you're what?
My 10 years seems like nothing. It's just like I'm a baby.
I mean, I can't even think that it's that many years. It's just, you just keep going, right? Like you're saying, it doesn't seem like it's that long ago. It seems like a blink of an eye, right?
Yeah.
But here we are, I'm doing a podcast, the jiu-jitsu podcast. We're the growing and, get to connect with you guys on this and share the conversation. It's amazing. I would never have thought all the things that we have here that would be in this position. Like one of the legacy family wrote a book on the journey, right?
Yeah.
Of all this. So yeah, man, I feel blessed, to be able to do something that I'm really passionate about and believe in.
Nice.
And give back what that's given me, everything.
That's one of the most amazing parts about you that everybody says, and I'm totally agree with. That is how much you give, and it doesn't even seem that you're giving, right? That's incredible. You just offer. You make a place available for people to, in their own way, take their journey and accomplish things that they need. It's because there is a giving, there is a direct giving. Like you come and you give something to somebody, you provide an environment that people can flourish.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's so subtle.
We create, right? We create that environment, but you know, it's all of us, right? And you know, I think we either fit with the vibe, right?
Yeah.
Or you know, it's not your vibe, right? But our vibe is that, right? It's that kind of an environment where you grow and you things happen, right?
Yeah,
in a positive way.
But it needs to have a center. You know, it needs to have a head. I had many experiences, let's say, with theater, that you have a play, and then without the director or without the lead producer or without the lead actor, it doesn't go anywhere anymore. You know, so I feel like the environment is kind of like the same, even though you delegate for people to have their responsibilities and to do their part that makes the machine going. Without you there would be different, would not be, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Thank you.
So yeah,
we try.
Like the beginning of my jiu-jitsu journey was very random. How was yours? You were already like, okay, I'm gonna do this, I want to be a competitor. You know what I mean? Like some people
I think
feel
it was
nowadays.
you know, I think my first, I mean, you got to read all of it. I think it's like the chapters in there. You know? It kind of breaks it down.
Yeah.
But I think my beginning was I just loved the way it made me feel. You know, my friend armed me like a bunch of times. I just loved the way it made me feel. I scheduled all of my everything around those training classes. There was one time a week, and then it was twice a week. And so I scheduled everything around those 2 days, you know. And then I wanted more, and you know, got some VHS tapes, and just, you know, like it was in those days of like, hey, I'm showing you this, but you can't share this with anybody else, and those kinds of things, you know.
Yeah.
And then my friend Amal Easton went to Brazil, and then he came back from Brazil, and I thought I wanted to be Navy SEAL, so it was a few months where I went to do some training and stuff, and then he came back from Brazil, and we started training in his garage every day, and then he took me to a couple tournaments here in California, you know, and that was the next step, you know, and I got, you know, got exposed to tournaments and competing, and you know that, and then I went to Brazil.
Yeah,
that was the next step. Like I wanted more, right? And then the next step was kind of setting my goals, you know, my high goals, and writing it down, and reading a book called by Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, you know, and setting my goals, and then that was the next step, right? And so it's all like just little chapters, right?
Yeah, but it is a big commitment when you choose to be an athlete instead of having a profession like a job, right? That's something that, you know, most people struggle with.
My families are my family, like my mom, her grandparents. They were. My grandfather was an attorney, but he spent he was on the board of education. My grandmother was on the board of education. She was a teacher her whole life. My mom was too. My dad was an engineer, but they're always about, you know, going to school, going to college, getting a degree, getting a good job, a safe job, or whatever, not safe, whatever, just getting a job, good job.
Yeah.
That was the thing, right? And my grandfather, he was an entrepreneur. You know, I can't just say that. You know, he was good. But I loved jiu-jitsu. I loved the lifestyle. I loved it. I was obsessed with it, and it didn't make sense at the time. And I'm just grateful that I followed my heart, my intuition to go for it.
Yeah,
because it did not make sense at all at the time. But I didn't think about money. I didn't think about, you know, I just knew what it did for me, and I saw what it did for others as well. And here we are, you know, 31 years later.
Yeah, but it's
look at all you guys. You know, it's like it helps everybody around me, from our little tiny champs, 3 years old, even, you know, we see babies, right? Like, you know, as soon as they can go pretty much, right? We used to have them at 2, right? Even, and then we have Savage, who's, you know, 80 years old, you know, on the mat. He's running around and doing laps on the mat this morning.
Savage was one of the first videos that because once Mark moved locations
Mhm.
of his gym, and then I had to move to the Valley because I was ready to not share apartments with people anymore. But I have
no
to,
more stepbrothers.
no more stepbrothers or stepsisters. I had
Have you seen
stepsisters
the
as well.
stepbrother movie?
Yeah,
You have
it's Mel Gibson and Will Ferrell, right?
Mel Gibson.
No, no,
That's funny.
no. Mel Gibson now is Will Ferrell and Mark.
Imagine that's funny.
Yeah.
Imagine Mel Gibson with Will Ferrell in a movie.
No, Mel
Step
Gibson-
Brothers. Maybe imagine that was one of the guys.
He was, but
Imagine, can
he
you
was the
imagine
dad. He was the dad.
Was he? Was he?
Yeah, it's Will Ferrell and that guy from Boston. I think it's from Boston. Not Mark Ruffalo, Mark Wahlberg. They have a movie that plays Step
Oh yeah,
Brothers.
he's no. It's another one like Family something like I don't. Mel Gibson's the dad.
the
right?
dad, yeah, the dad,
The father-in-law or something.
the father-in-law, yeah.
That's funny. That's
Yeah.
funny.
The other Step Brothers, are you talking about Warner Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito? They have a movie
No,
like
you go watch the movie. It's funny if you
Yeah.
like Will Ferrell and his
Yeah.
sense of humor. It's good.
good.
And you
I
can
will.
then you can talk to me about it.
Yeah.
With your roommate experience.
Yeah.
Same room roommate experience.
Yeah. So when I moved to the Valley, I could not train with Mark anymore because I still have the limited resource. I was doing at that time. I think I was doing Uber.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to be local, and so then I saw everybody was thinking as well. Some people like, where do we go? And then we have a Legacy, and then I went to look for a Legacy, and I saw the video of Savage that you guys produced,
Oh, okay.
and that was so freaking cool.
Nice.
So freaking cool. It's like, man.
What did you what
Savage.
resonated with you about that
That
as a psychologist
longevity,
and
the longevity that a guy that is that age is going for it, because it's really hard. I think like people that started so young, like we have Superman, we have some kids now that I see training, and if they continue, they're gonna be. Sometimes you don't even know how good is for you because you never not have it. If you start at 3-4 years old, you don't even know when you're 15, you had jiu-jitsu your whole life.
Yeah.
What do you remember before you're 3? But for a guy like me that started jiu-jitsu, I was already late 30s, I think 36. I'm 46, 10 years, 36. To see what jiu-jitsu was able to do for me, to help me with, it's like, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Then you see a guy like Savage that is at that age is still going for it, because it's the challenge that jiu-jitsu presents to you and to your ego. Sometimes some weeks I come and I beat people up. It's like you feel good, and then some weeks you come and you get beat by everybody.
having to deal with that and face it, right?
Yeah,
And be okay with it no matter what.
Exactly.
Not getting big-headed when you beat everybody, and not
Exactly.
being devastated when.
Yeah, it's don't take the compliment as high, and don't criticize your low
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
You
More
what is it?
balanced.
Yeah, there is a guy. He has a very good book. Marco Aurelius, the emperor from Rome, is Meditations. Talk about a lot about
The Stoic philosopher.
Yeah, and I think jiu-jitsu is kind of like that physically.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna give you that center,
That's it. That's
the
it.
center.
The obstacle is the way.
Yeah, is Ryan Hall?
It's Marcus Aurelius, like one from the Stoic philosophy.
There is
the obstacle is the
there
way.
is a philosopher nowadays. I think his name is Ryan Hall. He wrote a book that he studied Marco Aurelius. He wrote a book called The Obstacle is the Way. It's a very good book as well. One of his quotes, right? Yeah, and it's incredible because you don't have to read anything. If you just train jiu-jitsu, eventually, if you endure it's like the sword in the irony in the fire, you're gonna become, you're gonna find your center.
What do you think about the quote from Renzo Gracie saying there's more wisdom and philosophy on the mat than in any Ivy League university?
For sure. I agree. I totally agree. Because one of the main things about university is that mostly you go there to develop, let's say, your intellect. There's very few physical activities in universities like that. You have some sports, and that's very good, but jiu-jitsu is a constant conflict, and where people are putting 100% sometimes exactly, and of pushback. The main thing about the intellect is that oftentimes you don't have to deal with the consequences of your thoughts. You know, so when people are battling intellects in college or they're learning something, you have an argument, let's say, you can still walk out of there like, I'm right. You know, because there's no physical property. And even when thinkers and philosophers and economists and whatever politicians, they applied something that is bad, intellectually an idea that is bad and has devastating consequences in society, they don't pay the price for that. Other people pay the price for that. And then they revamp that idea with other words later to say, oh, this was not done right, you can do like this. And you see that over and over and over again, right? And it comes from just having ideas that don't have a practical connection to it, physical connection to it immediately, and you pay the consequence for it. So in jiu-jitsu, how many times I had this like, oh man, if I do this and if I do that, I can solve the problem this way. And then I go to train and try, get crushed. It's like, oh, immediately consequences. So you really reevaluate yourself, your actions, how you do something, how
the beautiful thing is that you can think it, but you actually do it, right?
Yeah.
With your body, and
the thinking has to be connected
right.
the doing.
And so
you know?
so you're not in your head. You're like you're out there, right?
Yeah.
With everything.
And even when you think it right, people are putting 100% of resistance. Even when you think, right, okay, I need to control his arm and his sleeve, and I need to do this, and you go in to do it, the person doesn't let you do it.
Yeah.
And then you have to deal with another problem. It's problem solving day after day, minute after minute. You know.
You've been doing martial arts for most of your life, right?
Yeah, since I was 14, in a way. Yeah.
So what has martial arts done for you in one word? What has it done for you in your life? Improved your life? And what has Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu done for you in one word?
Confidence, I would say.
Martial arts.
Yeah, confidence. All of them, confidence. And it's a cool confidence. It's not the bravado confidence. It's not like,
true confidence.
I do martial arts. Yeah, man, I am the man. No, it's
You're
just...
able to walk away and be okay with whatever.
You know.
It's not worth it.
Yeah. You see sometimes when...
trying to prove, you don't need to prove anything.
You don't need to prove anything.
What about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? How it's improved your life or what it's given you? Obviously confidence, but...
Yeah. One of the main things about jiu-jitsu is how to deal with pressure, which mirrors life perfectly. Because what is life if it's not pressure every day from all directions? You know, you don't have money, it's pressure. You have a conflict in your relationship, it's pressure. Something bad happens to you, it's pressure. You lose your job, pressure. And how you deal with that tells a lot about you. And there is something about human nature of individual that we are a certain way. Like I have small kids right now. I have a 4-month-old and I have a 2-year-old. And you can see that the 2-year-old, he's already has his personality. He's already there. It might go one way, another way, but he's already there. So that doesn't...
Born, right? Pre in your DNA.
Yeah. That's not going to change, you know? I have something about me, you have something about you, Kevin has something about him that is already there, but society can push you one way or the other, you know what I mean? And you can mold, you can adjust your exterior layers. Let's say let's say that we are like an onion. The inner core is on one way, but you can adjust the exterior layers, you know? So jiu-jitsu helps you immensely, if that's a word, that with that, how to deal with pressure, how become
adversity.
Better, how to deal with adversity and stay calm under pressure, to stay collected, and that gives you a
make the right decisions, right?
Yeah.
And that
serenity, is that a word? Serenity, right?
Yeah.
You keep you're
peace,
in
inner
peace.
Inner peace.
You know, okay, I'm gonna deal with that. And I'm going to do what is right. What do I need to do? A lot of times you're in a bad situation in jiu-jitsu. If you panic, you're done.
Yeah. That's
So
great.
it's like
That's it.
small steps. What do I need to do? Oh, I need to put my elbow to my rib cage. I need to put a frame. I need to start shrimp. I need to, and that's not exactly in life, but it is the same, like small steps. What do I need? I lost my job. What do I need to do? Okay, I need to take a breath.
Yeah.
I need to see how much money do I have? What are my expenses? I need to start creating a resume. I need to, the same small step, like small steps to get
That's
somewhere.
It. That's it. What does a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt mean to you?
That changed so many times. I don't know if that has ever happened to you. Like you have a perspective and
Of
it
course, yeah.
changes.
We change, right? We're always
Yeah.
changing.
Yeah.
Right now.
Right now, somebody that has been through the fire. If I have to summarize, somebody that has been through the fire. I understand the symbol of the gift that John Danaher gives to his black belt. So I think he gives everybody a knife, right? Of course, because if with a sword, it would be, you know what I mean? But it's the same process. You got that metal in the fire being hammered down and layer upon layer, making more dense, and then work on the, to.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's something. And for me, somebody has been to the fire. Oftentimes I see it. Sometimes,
Challenged enough.
Sometimes it's not because in the beginning we have a vision like, oh, the black belt is the master that beats everybody up. And no, I don't think that anymore. If you are in a good room, you're gonna get some people, but you're gonna get submitted as well. And if you're not, who are you rolling with? If you need somebody higher, because you need to find somebody that is a higher level for you to evolve, because you evolve through the problems that you don't know how to fix, and then you learn how to fix them. And that's how you evolve, right? So I don't see a black belt anymore like the guy who knows everything. Actually, the more that I study, the more that I learn, the more I see, oh my God, the gap between what I know and what I don't know is infinite. It's so much things to learn. So what is important? For me, what is important is to keep training.
Yeah.
Live in the lifestyle, and know that you can stand the fire.
Yeah.
And come back the next day.
It. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Why should somebody come to Legacy?
I think that Legacy has out of the bat, like a great structure.
Right out of the bat?
Yeah.
Right out of the gate?
Right out of the gate. Like, for starters, a great structure. We have multiple rooms that people can train, not only jiu-jitsu, but they can train Muay Thai. We have the boxing ring for experience in the box ring. We have the weights if you want to, work on your body as well. We have TACFIT. We have the judo. The structure is very unique in LA. In general, to have a multitude of rooms with a multitude of disciplines. That's right. Everybody that comes to the front desk, the first thing that they know is like, oh man, this is huge, and you can do this, there is that,
You don't know coming from the street, right? It doesn't seem like it's as big as we are.
From outside, it seems like, oh, it's just one, and then you come inside and
keep going.
It's like the Snoopy doghouse. You go with like a mansion inside. And then, because that's the first thing that they see, right, when they come in, is the structure is different from other places. And you have a multitude of disciplines that you can dedicate yourself or at least get at least a taste. And then you have the teachers. The teachers, for what I have seen, they are knowledgeable and they are committed and they are good people. And that's very important. Like I said, I have a small kid. I don't want to leave my kid in a place.
You can trust all of
Exactly.
our team, our staff.
You can leave. You shouldn't never, ever in any place just leave your kid and walk away and never come back. But you can do that, Alex.
Good quality people here.
Quality people, from the teachers to the parents to is incredible. And that's what I think is the energy of the headmaster. People that come here have a great energy most of the time, and if they don't stay. Great energy, great behavior, and it's rare that somebody is off, and if they off, you can see that they don't stay.
They don't stay, yeah.
So you have that. The teachers are very knowledgeable. very committed. Like training with the coaches, there are blue belts. He's like, man, this guy knows what he's doing, and because he's doing the fundamentals every day, the dedication. And then you have the general community, like just the people. They're fun to be around. It's just fun to be around.
We work hard, but we
Panda.
Panda.
Monday.
They're fun to be around, which is very important. I used to think that I was very much like goal-oriented, especially because I moved from my city to another city. I have to start from scratch and all the way to
Too serious.
Yeah, and then when I moved to United States, like, okay, I cannot be here for 20 years. I'm already old. I need to get myself in a good place quick. So I was very, serious, goal-oriented. I need to do this. I need to do this. And I remember my first job, I used to say to people like, okay, are you guys here to work or to make friends? Look at the mindset. No, we're here to make friends. Life is like a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
So even if you're doing something in a gym that has a guy with good skills, but if he's an asshole, if the environment is not good, if you're not having fun, what are you doing? So I have practiced Muay Thai here and the Jiu-Jitsu and done TACFIT, and everybody's fun, to be around. It's fun to take the classes, which is good because there is a little bit of suffering, At least for me, that is a little. When Monica puts you to do those push-ups that you have to be all bent over and
all the rooms is suffering involved.
There's suffering involved, man.
Muay Thai. I thought it was gonna be Jiu-Jitsu, but Muay Thai, but you're like
Professor
TACFIT.
Andy, he kicked my ass so bad with. I think it's because I put him to do sets on the fundamentals. I went to a sparring session with Professor Andy, and he's like, knees to the body, deep. Some punches in the face. There is suffering, but like he's so pleasant to be around.
Yeah, he's fun.
It's fun, and it's like, okay, man, beat my face up. I'll be back.
Well, thank you, brother. Thank you for your great energy. I love seeing you. It's such a great addition. Just seeing you at the, greeting people, having you here and on the mat. Like it's really nice. It's really nice. I really appreciate you being here. Like more. And love seeing you on the mat always in class and doing all the things. So I really appreciate you and your friendship, bro.
Professor, thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity. I need to thank a lot, like I said, Mark Bradford, you, Ricky, Monica, Andrea, Felix, everybody is I guess because you guys are from here in a certain way for such a long time. So it's hard to realize something that you always had. And if you always had a community, if you're on that city, if you start training early, but me that I came later and I got to experience what is to not have it and then to have it. And I mean, the opportunities that you guys provide to me, the community that you guys offer to me, and I do believe that everything in life is a gift. Nothing is mandatory. We are entitled to nothing. Everything that somebody gives is a gift. You either take it or you don't take it, But it is a gift. An opportunity is a very precious gift because that person is there. When they give you an opportunity, they're giving a little piece of them to you, Because, like I said, it's your business. If I don't do well, if I sting the reputation of your business is a little bit of you. It's kind of like the belt. I was thinking about this, right? The responsibility that is to give somebody a belt. Anywhere we go and we say, oh, I do jiu-jitsu. Where do you train? Who is your professor? So you're actually giving a little piece of yourself to all these students. And then when on top of that, you give me and all of us, the opportunity to work here, which is double the responsibility. Now it's not only as a jiu-jitsu player, it's also as a manager, front desk person, a supervisor, or what, I think it's a lot, and I know it's a lot because I have been to the places that I was not offered opportunities. And then no matter how good you are, no matter your resume, I came here, I have a diploma in psychology, a diploma in psychodrama. I had experience as a manager. I have done a bunch of things. And people are like, so what? I don't know you. And then somebody has to be the first, right? To say, okay, I'm going to trust you. I'm going to give you an opportunity. And from there, you get to know people get to know you, and people, oh, okay. And then they give a second and a third and a fourth if you do well by them. But if we're not for people like you, where would we go? You know?
Thank
so
you,
I
brother.
appreciate
Thank
you
you.
very,
You
very
coming
much.
you coming to the gala?
Everybody should come to the gala. I told this not only to the graduation and whatever camera you want to use, Kevin, that camera. Look, like I said, I was serious about things, goal-oriented. I'm here just to train. No, it's about the community. It makes a great difference to people when you come to their class, when you come to events that they promote. It's a lot of work to have a thing like this running, a gym running. Oftentimes, people don't need to do that. They could do other things. And to put a party together is real work. And then in that moment, you can celebrate all the accomplishments. The whole journey of the year, you can give a little bit back. I think that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
For somebody and for everybody that has given so much for us. So come to the gala. It's going to be a pleasure. It's going to be fun. And I think it is as important as training is to come to these events to share the community, because the community is the bond that keeps us together.
Thank you.
Yeah.